We'd like to turn it over to audience questions now, so you guys are going to line up at the mics, and we know that there's a part 2 coming, but if we could keep the questions to part 1, we would really, really appreciate that. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. So, do we have sound on the mics? All right. There we go. So we'll start on the right side.
This question's for Rob. Did you have more fun playing Cedric Diggory or...
Well, I was only... They were both really, really fun. I mean, I didn't really know what I was doing when I was playing Cedric, because it was so early on. I mean, I didn't even particularly know if I wanted to be an actor at the time, so it was fun in that respect, considering I was genuinely just playing around. But you know, Twilight has really changed my life, and you know, it's allowed me to live in this world which is very difficult. It's almost impossible to find another way of living in it. I don't know what I'm talking about. Edward, obviously. I mean, Edward was really, really fun.
Great answer. Thank you.
My question's for Taylor. You have very physical roles where you portray your martial arts, where you portray characters that use your martial arts skills. Do you want to be the next action star, or what are you looking forward to do after the Twilight?
I do. I mean, I've always been a fan of action movies. I mean, it's definitely not all I want to do. I mean, what I love about acting the most is being able to challenge myself to, you know, many different things. And you know, I mean, I love Jacob, and this franchise has given me an incredible opportunity, and I'm so thankful for it, because it's given me the opportunity to do what I love to do, and that's go on and challenge myself more and play different roles. My next one is I play Nathan in Abduction, and he's completely different than Jacob, which is a weird change, because I've lived Jacob for so long now, but it's exciting to challenge myself with that. It's a good question, but I'm really excited for you guys to see that as well.
Alright. Hi. Nice hair, Rob. What was your guys' initial reaction when reading the Renesmee birth scene?
I thought it was so cool. I think that we really did try to go as sort of hardcore as we could. It's definitely not your typical birthing scene. I mean, it took 2 days to shoot and 2-day labor. It's really hard. But literally in the book, you know, there's this part where I'm sure you guys all know. She's literally choking on blood that she's been drinking, and like just out of her mind, like, you know, because you've got. It was always in my head that, I mean, she's able to fight harder than any human really would be able to, because of a little bit of that in her, literally. Now I'm like really embarrassed. Anyway, so, and also, at that very part too, you get to see, and I got to play with having venom run through your veins and start to feel just like the hell that is, and that's after a moment of like sheer exuberance of looking at your baby for the first time, and actually being able to like have a moment of like calm breath, and then like out of the worst birth, violent, crazy hellhole into the next most, like, even worse.
Thank you.
So that was fun. I was excited about it.
Thank you.
Hi guys, first of all, it's really nice to see you all again. And I'd like to make a comment. Rob, I was very pleasantly surprised by your back muscles in the trailer. And I think I can speak for all of us when I say nom nom nom. years you finally got to experience vampire makeup, and I wanted to know what that was like for you, and if Rob's whining was justified, or if he was just being a big baby.
So justified. I mean, you do feel so locked in there all day, although it helps too, like, you're so much more conscious of your movements, and the contacts suck so badly. You can't see anything, and thus people cannot see you, I feel. You know, you can't, there's no getting in there. Especially when we both have them in, it's like... so yeah, no, justified, I think.
Hi Taylor, hi Kristen.
Hi Rob. My question is for Rob. I was wondering if I could give you a CD, and then my second question, because I gave you one 2 years ago and I wanted to give you another one. And my question is, what is your favorite scene to film?
Yes, you can give me a CD. What was my favorite scene to film? I think probably the birth scene. It was kind of, it was different to anything. I mean, you never really get to, well, I never get to play Edward in a way that he's, I mean, literally is so aware of his own helplessness and and is very frail and human. I mean, normally he's kind of either controlling himself or totally in control of the situation, or it's all pretends he is. And then he's just, there's no one else around, and it's just left with, he's trying to help Bella, but has no idea what he's doing, there's no help, there's nothing he can do, and he's just desperate. And normally when that happens in all the other movies, Bella comes in and saves the day. Like at the climax, I'm either going to get my head ripped off, or I'm going to kill myself with the Volturi. Every single time, like, Bella comes in and saves it, but Bella isn't there to save anyone, so someone else, like Ron Jacob or someone, comes in and saves the day. But it was nice to play just total, you know, he's totally annihilated by the situation, so it was fun.
You know, that's a good question. If the rest of you wouldn't mind answering either, maybe be quick. You know, what your favorite scene was to shoot. Bill, do you have one?
Yeah, it was funny because someone asked before, and it really is like there's so many big things that happen, like the honeymoon wedding, that they all. I really don't have one because like they all were like these huge challenges that we were facing. So I have a lot of favorite scenes.
We'll go. I don't want to put you guys on the spot. Yeah. Okay, no problem. Next question.
This question is for all of you. My mom would like to know what was the difference for you from filming in Canada than it was in Louisiana.
Well, all the exterior stuff was shot in Canada, and so we were outside the entire time when we were up there, so the second half was everything outside. And then we were on a stage primarily in Baton Rouge, and most of the stuff that we have to do inside is kind of the more emotional, just more based in reality. Not that anything in the story isn't. It's just that it's just personal, intimate scenes together between people in the house and stuff like that. So it was really a different tone change when we went up to sort of do the more active stuff. I was a vampire much more often when I was in Canada, which was cool. Yeah, that's, you know.
Cool. Next.
I'm so excited for Breaking Dawn. What scene are you guys excited to reveal to the fans?
Okay, part one. Right.
Great.
I'm going to be boring right now, and I'm going to go back to the birth scene. I want to give Bill some credit on this one, because when I read the book for the first time, the birth scene was a lot to take in. It's such a, I mean, it's so interesting, and I had no idea how it was going to look visually. And I got to give Bill some major credit here. It is, it's really amazing. It's stunning. I don't want to give too much away, so I'm going to force myself to not talk right now. But the birth scene is phenomenal. And I mean, Bill really did an incredible job of that. And I think you guys are going to be really, really pleased.
it's sort of like the whole, I mean, not to be too talkative, I'm usually not like that, but it does completely give you everything that you've, Bella's a fighter, she's been fighting for everything that she, you know, not just wants, but everything that really feels sort of destined to her, and in a weird way you have to like sort of give her credit of like having semi-divine intuition at times, because like when you see her fighting, literally she will die. Like, you know, she's said throughout the whole series that she's willing to die for what she's fighting for, but now you see that she's literally absolutely willing to, and pretty much does. And to see that straight up in your face like that, right, so harshly, like undeniably,
yeah, it's a lot to take in.
Yeah, and it's what the whole story's built to, so it's not to focus too much on that scene in this, but it makes sense.
Thank you.
Hi, my question is for Kristen. I was wondering, being pregnant is such a life-changing experience. What did you draw from to pull that kind of awe-inspiring, just change the world moment?
Right. What experiences did I pull from? Well, I've been asked frequently recently what it's like to play such a far-fetched story that's so sort of unbelievable and fantastic, and this especially, and I know that we say this about all of them, but this especially feels the most real, just in terms of what could happen to you in your life. You know, 18, it's not so very, very possible, and I had a, it's hard to talk to you about this. It makes me feel really young, actually, and like I don't know what I'm talking about, but I felt so strongly connected to that aspect of this. I thought that that was the main thing that I wanted to play. She's like this little cat in a corner that, you know, will literally will kill you, scratch your eyes out to defend what's going on here, and nobody else understands, and I could feel, I could sort of feel him, as she sort of says a lot, and I didn't have any experiences drawn, but there you go.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Hi, my question is for Rob and Taylor. How was it working with a cast full of beautiful women such as Kristen, Nikki, and Ashley?
It's crazy.
It's crazy. Wow, that's the first time that's ever been asked at one of these conventions.
That's not true. I always get asked this every year.
Really?
Yeah, I always get asked it at some point.
And what do you say?
It's like if you, every way you can approach this answer seems either kind of inappropriate or just plain wrong. So Taylor, you answer it. It's great. It's really nice being surrounded by hot girls all the time. It's the best thing ever. That's why I became an actor.
Good answer. Taylor, you want to take a stab?
No.
He summed it up.
There could be worse jobs. No, we have a lot of fun, and we're all. I mean, it is weird. I understand what he's saying, because I mean, we all are super close. And
it's so weird that we're all so hot. This has become the weirdest answer to any question. We have to be done with this now.
That's a great question. Thank you, sir.
Hi, I was wondering, this is for anyone who wants to answer, can you tell us what songs are going to be in the movie?
Can you?
Yeah. Well, we're just figuring that out now, actually, you know. But we have. I have to say, we have a lot of them. We have like 15, I think. I don't know if we should say it yet because we haven't made deals with everyone. But I think you'll be happy.
Hey, Taylor. So I was just wondering, what is it like to rehearse the fight scenes and film them, and do you have fun doing it?
My fight scenes really, I'm usually a wolf. I don't, it's a bummer because I wish I could actually be doing that, and I'm super jealous of my CGI wolf. Although he is pretty cute and fluffy. I actually got beat up a little bit. I'll talk more about the first one, but I got beat up in both movies. It was fun. He gives me a nice punch in this one, after he finds out I imprinted on his daughter.
It's Taylor's incredible stunt, which was like, he had his wire thing where he was jumping out of the house. I can't remember why, but something. He's always running around doing something. and he had this thing that was really cool, like on the wire and stuff, and jumping down like 10 stairs. And then Taylor's like, I don't need the wire, and then sprints out and jumps down an entire flight of stairs.
Throws himself
sprinting, like without a wire. It was like one of the most impressive things I've seen a human being do.
Excellent. Well, guys, I'm gonna pause the questions just for 1 second, because I've just been told that we have some surprise guests backstage that want to come out to see you all. So many of them are making their first ever Comic-Con appearance. So let's give a warm welcome to Jacob's newest pack member, Leah Clearwater, Julia Jones. Please welcome the Cullen matriarch, Esme Cullen, Elizabeth Greaser. Next is Jacob Black's favorite member of the Cullen family, Rosalie, Nikki Reed. And one more guest, Bella's best friend and Edward's loving sister Alice, Ashley Green. All right, thanks so much for joining us, guys. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
We're going to turn the questions back to the audience. But please come to the mics if you've got, or Mike, I guess, if you've got some questions. I'd love to include the newest members of the dais here. So let's go back here.
I have a question. Rob, do you like having the baby with Bella?
The look on your face looks like you're really asking something else.
And she has no idea what you're
I don't think about No, I do. I really like babies, embarrassingly, for a guy. I don't know why, I don't know if that's embarrassing. I do really like them. And I like doing scenes with them too. But it was really fun. It was kind of, especially in this series as well, you kind of, you're playing this sort of statuesque guy most of the time. As soon as you have a baby, no one can be hard anymore. They can't contain their emotions, which is what Edward's been doing the entire time. You have a little baby in your hand, so it's kind of, it makes everything more human, inevitably. And also babies just in terms of acting with it, they just do their own thing. And so you kind of, it's more fun to just, you're basically improvising as soon as you have a baby in your hand. Which is, yeah, it's really fun. I loved it.
Thank you. Next question?
My question is for Taylor. Did you like playing the character in Abduction more than the character in the Twilight Saga?
Why is that so funny? I honestly, I wouldn't be able to choose it. I mean, like I was saying earlier, they're such different characters. I mean, it's just the great thing is I was able to go from playing Jacob, who I really love, to playing another character that I was able to explore, who's also really interesting. But I would not be able to choose. That's a good question. You put me in a tough spot here, especially with everyone in this room.
I'm going to jump in for a second, and I'd like to ask a question to the newest members of the table here. We'll start with Ashley and work our way to Julia. And like to hear you guys talk a little bit about the growth of your characters through the course of the film, and what was it like, you know, to portray that and have an opportunity to portray that, I guess.
For me, it was, I mean, it's always been really fun playing Alice. You know, you get to go to work every day and just be super perky and happy all the time. But the nice part with Alice, I think, is that, you know, there was, throughout the course of the whole saga, there were opportunities to see her really defend her family and to see kind of, you know, a fierceness and a dangerous side of her that you didn't necessarily see in the first film. And in Breaking Dawn, you know, I think you kind of get to see Alice at her peak and at her height. She's planning a wedding and she's elated and beyond herself. But then, kind of on the extreme opposite, you get to see her really fight for her family, and she got to go to kind of darker places that you haven't really seen her go to before.
This is my turn. Well, unlike Alice, Rosalie's not super happy and perky all the time. So it was nice to not play that for 5 minutes. It was nice to smile on set once or twice. I think this journey has been, you know, watching Rosalie sort of unfold throughout the years, and working with Bill really closely, I think, to find, you know, the comedy in this and the humor and some lighter moments for Rosalie was nice. And I sort of experienced an eclipse that the audience was laughing a lot of the time when I was on screen, which is actually amazing. And so we kind of went with that, and Belle and Rosalie get to have something really special in this and connect over, you know, the love for this other thing, and it sort of it becomes greater than all the other little petty issues. So, yes.
For me, I really enjoyed working with all the international vampires. I thought that was really fun. We had a full house at one point. And I think what I really enjoyed about Breaking Dawn was seeing Esme become more of the matriarch that I tend to. She was a stronger version of the character than I think we've seen, and I found that to be more a more honest version of the character, in my opinion, because every mother that I've ever known they're like the fiercest person in the family. And so I found that was really fun and more challenging time for me to explore that, especially because everything was at stake for our characters, and we were in a much more vulnerable position as a family. So Esme really has to step up.
I think that Leah in Eclipse is just always very, very angry, and to say the least. And in Breaking Dawn, I think she kind of makes a decision. Part of growing up for her is deciding to